Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. For those of you in public and also those who are watching us live streaming, I will ask our board secretary to take a roll to establish a quorum for the record.
Thank you. Member Lopez?
Present.
Member Otto?
Here.
President Craighead?
Here.
Member Benitez?
Here.
Member Miller?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. And I would now ask Ms. Lopez to lead us in a pledge.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For those of you present in the room, the board appreciates and supports community input at our meetings. During the meeting, there will be time for the public to comment on matters on the agenda and matters not on the agenda. For those who have not already submitted a request, we have provided forms here with our board secretary. If you wish to speak during the meeting, please fill out a form indicating your name and the agenda item you wish to address. The board has been meeting in closed session regarding matters listed on today's agenda. The board took action on the following items. On item 3.1, the board voted 5-0 to approve a public employee promotion. I will now turn it over to Mr. Moskovitz, our Chief Academic Officer, to provide specifics.
Thank you, President Craighead. We just have one promotion tonight, so I'm proud to present Monica Alvarado. She was a teacher at Educare, will now be the Early Learning Center Manager with Head Start. Thank you.
Thank you. Is she present tonight?
She is not.
No? Well, we congratulate her on her promotion anyhow. On item 3.2, the board voted 5-0 to approve the resignation of 2 classified employees and voted 5-0 to approve a resignation agreement for 1 certificated employee. Now we are at adoption of the agenda. Dr. Baker, did you have something to
I do.
add?
Thank you. I have 2 requests for amendments to the agenda. First is to pull item 14.7 from the consent calendar A, to vote separately on that item. And then the second is to pull item 16.2.
Okay, so the agenda that we will be voting on would be an amended agenda with those aforementioned amendments. So we need a motion.
Move to approve agenda as amended.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. Sorry, Eric, were you going to go?
Yeah, I was just going to ask for some help from Jeff, actually, just for some clarification. So with the pulling out of 14.7, that just means we're just going to vote on it separately, but it still keeps the same number exactly, right?
Exactly,
Got it.
yes. It's just, yeah.
Okay, understood. Just to make sure. Thanks.
Any other discussion?
Just a question. Item 16.2 will be on the agenda at a later date.
Correct.
I will turn it over to our board secretary for a roll call vote on this one.
Member Lopez?
Aye.
Member Otto?
Aye.
President Craighead?
Aye.
Member Benitez?
Aye.
Member Miller?
Aye.
That passes 5-0.
Thank you. Let's see. We have something very special tonight. Gotta find my paperwork. We are going to be seating our brand-new student board member. And this is, I think this is our 3rd student. And so we just started this process a couple of years ago. This is a way for us to have a student involved in our board meetings, a student voice, a much-needed student voice in the business of the district. And so I'm going to introduce everyone to Alana Arroyo from Sato. So we're very happy you're here. Let's give her a round of applause. Alana was not here when we introduced the other top candidates because she was on a humanitarian mission in Ecuador, as you do. So we had an opportunity to meet the other top applicants, the top, you are one of top 5 that applied out of 34 across the district. One of the things that stood out to me was that you had done your homework. You watched board meetings, you researched the role of board members. That shows dedication and commitment, and that's on top of everything else. And she still wanted to do it. That's a very good point. Yes, absolutely. So thank you for that. But parts of the application that I want to remind everyone of. So in your application, you wrote about how matters of the district that are impacting students, you would like to ensure that all voices and perspectives are not only heard, but truly taken into consideration. Amazing. You are a first-generation Mexican-American, and diverse backgrounds and perspectives in your community have helped to shape the person that you are today, which we know you as being a wonderful person, so that's good. And then also that you value a love of learning, speaking up for yourself and others, and serving your community. And we are so proud to have you join us. And so now, Dr. Baker and I will conduct the swearing in.
So this is a repeat after me, and I'll try to go slowly because it's a lot of words, all right? I, Alana Arroyo, do solemnly swear
I, Alana Arroyo, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
That I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you. Congratulations. Well, Alana, we are so happy to officially have you as our student board member. Once again, congratulations. Also, do you have somebody here that you'd like to acknowledge at this time?
I do. Here with me today is my family, my father, and my sister Avery, as well as my aunt and uncle. Also my principal, Miss Coleman.
In your defense, you couldn't see her because she was bending down, and she was on the other side of the podium. But to Alana's parents, thank you. Well done. That's all I can say. Meeting the other candidates at our last meeting, yeah, and we're all going to have the opportunity to get to know Alana. Well, every year it's very difficult because the students that apply for this job are the cream of the crop. They're the highest achieving students. Going over every application, it was very difficult to try and eliminate some of the applicants, to try and come up with a top 5, and then from the top 5 to try and come up with one. Very tough, because these students are all so wonderful. So Alana, we are just so proud to have you join us, and we are looking forward to having your perspective, the student perspective in our district work. So thank you again. Yeah. Let's see. So, let's see, next on the agenda, we have our student, staff, and school celebration, so I'll direct your attention to the screen. We have a video to enjoy.
Sankofa Summer Academy is for Black students grades 3 through 7, and we teach culturally responsive lessons and teach about Black history so that our students feel more empowered.
So today is our final day. Our students will have an opportunity to share with their families and the community all that they've learned this summer. It's in the style of a science fair. Students will be able to demonstrate all the different curriculum that they've learned this summer.
We teach students about Black scholars that they don't normally hear about during the school year or during Black History Month for that matter. And so just really teaching them how to dig deeper and analyze pictures that they see and stories that they read to see if there's a counter narrative to what they're learning.
Restorative justice, it helps build our students up in a way where they are around peers that look like them, but they also can develop their own sense of identity as Black students and scholars.
Some extracurricular activities we've had is garden, and they get to learn about the different spices and foods that were grown in West Africa. They also get to actually garden and dig in the soil, and they love it, that experience that they may not get at their regular school.
What I've noticed over the last 3 years is that students are very excited to learn about their Black history, about their culture, about their ancestors, where they've come from. They've been excited to learn about the brilliance and the excellence in our culture, and to be able to demonstrate that and to speak about that.
You feel safe in the space, and it's a lot of fun, and you learn things that you don't really learn in school.
A Black scholar means to me is we were kings and queens, and we're more scholarly than ever.
I enjoyed learning about Black history, and I liked learning about the people who changed the world.
It's always so wonderful to see our vision in action, and especially to hear from the kids. Let's see, next on the agenda, we have public testimony, but I don't believe we
don't have any speakers either on or off the agenda.
Okay. Yeah, I was noticing earlier, usually I have two piles of, I have 2 stacks usually, and I don't have any stacks, so I was thrown off a little.
Yeah, that's definitely a first for me.
Yeah, that's unusual. Okay, so we will go right to reports on superintendent advisory groups, and we'll start with the Business Budget and Policy Development Group. Dr. Benitez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So 3 items to report out on. The first is actually that we have no policies to report on. So no policies for us to review today at this meeting, but in alignment with what we did last school year, our process will remain the same. I'll give us a heads up on what policies are coming down the pipeline, what's in the queue, and then we'll receive draft versions of those up for consideration for us. So we will follow the same sort of process that we used last year. Really, the items that I did want to report on are first, that we did have a conversation stemming from, I don't remember if it was at the last board workshop or the previous meeting. A few of my colleagues, including myself, shared some thoughts about wanting to keep our community members up to date on policies that we did review and took action on at our board meetings. Whether that's the format in which we're going to share that with our communities has not yet been determined, but that is one of the things that we discussed, right, that we wanted to follow up on, making sure that our communities are aware and up to date on any policy that we take action on here in the district. Item 2, in relation to that, was to work on developing a plan for what is going to be in the queue for this coming school year, and taking into consideration that we basically have 2 types of policy considerations. One is more what we would call updates, administrative updates, alignment with state legislation, things that need to be codified that we were doing in practice. So there'll be a bucket of those. Those mostly end up in the consent calendar because it's more about codifying practices and keeping our policies up to date and in alignment with state and federal legislation. The second bucket is those that require discussion and more review. And so the plan would try to identify what's coming down the pipeline and in what bucket our policies would land. In either bucket, we'd still get them ahead of time. I'd still report out that something's coming down the pipeline, and we would all have a chance to discuss those. Third is, as a part of the bucket that would require discussion and review, is our work on updating and revising bylaws. Again, the reference point here is that at previous school board meetings, including our last summer workshop, questions, ideas about how to maximize our time in meetings around student outcomes focused governance, how our time could best be used to reflect a student outcomes focused agenda. And so included in those discussions were, how do we decide on what's in the agenda? How do we get items on an agenda? But also the content of the agenda itself, doing an assessment piece. So many of those are in existing bylaws that we should and can review. Some of those don't currently exist in our bylaws. Others require for us to look to make sure that our bylaws are up to date and in accordance and in alignment with our focus on student outcomes. So I'm going to defer a little bit here to Jeff to see if I said everything I was supposed to say from a legal perspective here, Jeff.
I think you certainly summarized what it is that we had in terms of the discussions, and just listening to the board over the last few meetings and really hearing the work around sort of how the board works and those bylaws, the work that was done in 2022 to create some of the bylaws that you're now operating off, and just providing another opportunity to relook at those, look at potentially some other bylaws that are often in place in certain school districts, to bring those forward to see if there's an interest here. So I think that's part of the process of evaluating those bylaws that would come forward to the board for review, discussion, and consideration in terms of how the board interacts together. I think that's the piece. So that's the piece I wanted to add.
Okay. And that completes your report?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So next we have instruction and student learning. Ms. Lopez?
No report today. Thank you.
Okay. Workforce development, Mr. Miller.
Yes, I have two reports today. One is first centered around staffing. As you guys know, obviously we are into the 24-25 school year. And so our HRS team has been working hard to ensure that our teaching workforce is fully staffed for the 24-25 school year. And we've been recruiting, hiring, and processed over 324 teachers to date and have filled 99% of our vacancies. We still got three to go. All right. As of today, we have a total of 1,662 substitutes in our system, of which 85 were just hired this summer to ensure that we have the coverage of our teaching staff. We are constantly recruiting substitutes, so if you are interested, please visit everybody's favorite website, lbschools.net, and look at the employment opportunities under Human Resource Services page. Next is a report or update from the ELTD team, and that is our new principals and those new to a site completed a change of principal workshop where site teams comprised of both certificated and classified staff came together in a structured half-day process to note what has been working well at the site and the potential areas of improvement. This is the beginning step in a multi-year process that supports leaders in building off of the good work that had preceded them. There are also 2 surveys administered during the year to offer a checkpoint on progress made. And this was a conversation that was important to me as I think about how we have a changing in leadership and how does that culture that was built transition from one leader to the next while also obviously building upon that. So it was great to get an update on that. And thank you, Kellyanne. That's my report.
Thank you. Next, we have the student outcome focused governance. Mr. Otto?
Just very briefly, we are working hard because the Student Outcome Focused Governance Committee or Subcommittee has been working as really the foundation for the way that we do business here. We got this from a national group, and we've, over the last couple of years, been working at it. And in the next several weeks, we will be coming back to you with ideas about how to implement that. So that's my report.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have our consent calendar, consent calendar A. And just a reminder, we have moved item number 14.7 out of the consent calendar A. So we'll be voting on consent calendar A without item number 14.7.
Move approval.
Second.
Discussion?
I do have a question. Item 14.6. There are multiple contracts for services for students with exceptional needs. And if someone can just give me, what are we approving tonight, the total amount, because there's just, multiple contracts, and then the scope of the work that comes with those contracts.
All right, I can give you that information. So tonight we are approving $53,232,000 in contracts to our non-public agencies and non-public schools. And so what those agencies are organizations that are not a public agency that provide services for students with disabilities when a student's special needs cannot be met within the district. And so that could be for a variety of reasons. It could be staffing, we don't have enough staffing, or we can't fill positions, or those agencies provide specialized services that we don't have within the district.
Thank you. Also, number 28, the contract with the Guidance Center for $230,599, which is to provide mental health services and on-site clinicians for students, parents, and staff district-wide. So district-wide, are we talking about they'll be available and accessible to students, parents, and across the district, TK to 12 students' grades.
This is a unique contract and something we're very proud of. It provides the services of 2 clinicians who provide mobile response when there is an emergency at a K through 8 school. The school seeks the support through the school safety office. We use the school safety dispatcher to provide the service to the student with the hope of being able to support them, return them to school safely, or keep them at school safely, and then help to access additional services as needed.
Thank you. I have one last question. Number 39, the contract with the law offices of Wayne Strumpfer, our former legal counsel. It says that it's that the purpose is to provide legal services for the district. I think my question is pretty clear. We know we have legal counsel. Is it for everyone? Is it for the board? So this is specifically for the board that we're approving the contract, just because it's just not, that's not spelled out here. So I just want to be clear.
No, part of the clarity is so that it is for the district and the board needing counsel at times. The portion with the district is also the transition time between when I've come in and when he's retired, so that we continue to have those transition meetings. For instance, like today, we had a transition meeting in which he was still advising the district in that capacity. But he is also being made available to the board as well.
Okay, and then just because I do want it on record. So once a transition has taken place, it is this contract we're approving is strictly for the board, for legal counsel, yes? After the transition phase is taken.
Well, the contract is written as it applies to both. So the answer is no. Well, I don't know if the answer is no. I don't know what level of continued transition we're going to need.
Okay, I guess so then in the future, if we, I guess we're then looking at about let me look at, is there a time frame for this that we're voting on?
Right now, it's an open time frame. I think it's a 3. I think it indicates it's 3 years. It's not our intention to continue once the transition occurs. I don't know how long that's going to take in terms of the historical pieces. Certainly, the intent on behalf of the district services and advising the district is to utilize general counsel, in-house general counsel. So that's certainly the transition time, and the intent is that I would take over all of those responsibilities. When that occurs will be some period of transition time that I'm unable to specifically identify for you.
I think, I just totally, I'm not trying to be difficult, just definitely want the clarity. So if it's for a term of 3 years, if, that transition takes a year, thereafter, I just want to know that the contract is that the board will have that legal counsel, and it's after that transition strictly for the board.
The board would always be able to have access as long as that contract is in place to legal counsel, correct?
And are you asking if other staff members within the district would have access to Mr. Strumpfer, or just the board?
Yeah. So yes, I think we've so that definitely is a question, because we do have legal counsel that I think anyone can come to legal counsel and ask questions. But I think that there are times when strictly board members may have questions that we may require legal counsel outside of anyone who's already working with the district.
Is there any further discussion?
I had 2 non-related items, President Craighead. One is also a legal question. I'm wondering if, out of abundance of caution, I should recuse myself from item 14.6, approval of purchasing and contracts report. There is a contract on the consent calendar with Cal State Long Beach, who I'm currently employed with.
If you're seeking direction, I don't, unless you were directly involved with the contract or awarding that contract, I don't think you would be required to recuse yourself. But certainly, if you wanted to, out of abundance of caution, you could recuse yourself from that particular contract.
I don't have any involvement in the contract, but out of abundance of caution, I'd like to recuse myself from that item.
That would be fine.
Okay. Having said that, I have a question about that. Not a question. That item reminds me of an ongoing set of conversations about our educational partners in the Long Beach Promise. So that, as well as another item with Long Beach City College, are contracts for tours of LBUSD students, which falls within the broader sort of relationship as key institutional educational partners, but also key partners in the Long Beach Promise. So what I'd like to do, given that we have not heard sort of a system update on changes to the Long Beach Promise, given that we have not received communication, as far as I'm aware, as a board, from our sister educational institutions that take into consideration some of the concerns that were raised by this board regarding the Long Beach Promise, and specifically regarding the different CSULB eligibility index for our Long Beach Unified School District graduates. And given that it sounds like a resolution now, right?
Therefore.
And given that we have, in the last school year, passed board goals, specifically focused on A through G completion rate. And given that we have a commitment to excellence and equity around college and career readiness and college and career pathways. And we also know that there's or it's been referenced that there's a pilot program currently going on to address the concerns that this board raised about LBUSD grads that have completed the A through G requirements to be admitted into a CSU, but not necessarily be admitted into Cal State Long Beach because of the higher eligibility requirement. I would like for our district to revisit the Long Beach Promise. And the original intent of the promise was for any graduate of Long Beach Unified School District who completed minimum A through G requirements, that's a C or better, would get admission into Cal State Long Beach. So if I can get the support of one of my colleagues here, I'd like for our district to revisit that original intent, revisit that promise, and make sure that if we're advancing our educational vision and mission to get more students, more LBUSD graduates into colleges and universities, and we have the flagship of the CSU system right next door, then we should ensure that the Long Beach Promise actually is indeed a promise to our Long Beach Unified School District graduates.
So as somebody who has worked with college access programs for more than 10 years and have seen a high propensity of students be more interested in going to schools locally, I understand the importance of having a program like the College Promise program in place, because those students who are first generations would have not only a higher success rate in graduating from a four-year university that is in their hometown, but they'll also have a higher interest in going to a school that is in their hometown. And as you've already stated, as the statistics have shown, there have been unfortunate institutional barriers that we've put in place that haven't allowed our students to do so. So in what you've already stated, I'm in 100% support of revisiting the Long Beach Promise, as I think that when we talk about helping more students go on to four-year universities to help, especially I think about our students who will be breaking a cycle of poverty in their families by getting a four-year education. That is why I'm in support.
So Dr. Baker, just to be helpful to you, I guess I'm asking for two things. One is a comprehensive update on sort of where we're at with the Long Beach Promise. And the second is an exploratory sort of report back to the board on what would need to happen for us to fulfill the Long Beach Promise in accordance to its original intent.
Yes, I've captured that. Actually have our first quarterly CEO meeting coming up that Brian and I will be attending together later this month. And also we now have Dr. Elijah Sims, who will be a week, a month in the school district, not just sitting in the school district, but meeting with staff and participating in many opportunities alongside Brian and other staff. So your request is timely. It's something that Dr. Munoz and Dr. Connolly and I talked about an update during summer, but I'll carry that back to our September meeting.
And I have maybe a legal question about the consent calendar. Now that Dr. Benitez has recused himself from item number 14.6, would it be possible, even though we've already adopted the agenda as amended, can we further amend the agenda so that he's able to vote on the rest of the consent calendar?
I think because you have a motion on the table in a second, I think what you can do is a subsidiary motion to amend the main motion, which is to approve all of the consent calendar. So the motion can be moved to approve the consent calendar except item 14.6, number 14. You can vote on that item, you can vote on that amendment, pass that amendment, and then you could take up item 14.6, number 14 separately.
Okay, so we already have a motion on the floor. Would the maker of the motion need to make that amendment to the
Anybody
motion?
can make the subsidiary motion.
Anybody can make the
Correct.
subsidiary amendment.
Correct.
Motion for the amendment.
Motion to amend the main motion.
If anybody can remember any of that.
Yeah. So I'd like to make a motion to amend the initial motion, and so that is to a vote on consent calendar A while removing both items 14.6 and 14.7.
14.7 was already moved, so at
Oh.
this point, we only need to remove 14.6, number 14.
14.6, number 14.
Number 14.
So close, that was so close.
Right.
But we need a second. Your mic's on, you're gonna.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Thank you. I will ask our board secretary to take a roll call vote.
Okay. Member Lopez?
Aye.
Member Otto?
Aye.
President Craighead?
Aye.
Member Benitez?
Aye.
And Member Miller?
Aye.
That passes 5-0.
Thank you.
We got one more person who needs to vote.
Oh, right.
I'm sorry about that. Student member?
Aye.
Thank you.
I think that was your first vote. That's very exciting. I know. Who's got the camera? Okay. Now we will vote on item 14.6, item 14.
Good.
Oh, my goodness.
Move for approval.
Quickly.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Discussion? I will also ask our board secretary to take a roll call vote.
What are we voting on?
We are voting on item 14.6, item number 14.
Just the one contract, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Member Lopez?
Aye.
Member Otto?
Aye.
President Craighead?
Aye.
Member Benitez?
Recuse.
I recuse myself.
Recuse, yeah. Member Miller?
Aye.
And student member preferential vote.
Aye.
Okay, so that passes 4-0 with one abstention.
Thank you. Okay, next we will vote on item 14.7.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion?
No discussion for my, I thought I had a question, but I know what item we're voting on.
Okay. Any further non-discussion or discussion? No? In that case, I'm going to ask our board secretary to take a roll call vote.
Okay. Member Lopez?
Aye.
Member Otto?
Abstain?
President Craighead?
Aye.
Member Benitez?
Aye.
Member Miller?
Aye.
Student member preferential vote?
Aye.
Thank you. That passes 4-0 with one abstention.
Thank you. Now we're on to item number 15, and I'm so glad we're past the 14s. Consent calendar B.
Yes, out of abundance of caution, I'll recuse myself from consent calendar B, item 15, as I have a potential conflict of interest under state law.
Thank you. We need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. I will ask our board secretary to take a roll call vote.
Member Lopez?
Aye.
Member Otto?
Aye.
President Craighead?
Aye.
Member Benitez?
Aye.
Member Miller abstain. Student board member preferential vote?
Aye.
That passes 4-0 with 1 abstention.
Thank you. And next we move to new business on the agenda, item 16.1, approval of resolution 090424-B, a resolution of the Governing Board of Education of the Long Beach Unified School District, approving the proposed project and adopting the initial study and mitigated negative declaration for the Jordan High School new gymnasium and aquatic center project.
Report.
Let's see, Mr. Miranda, are you on hand for questions, or?
On hand for questions, I could provide a little background if necessary, since it's a
now
mouthful.
you knew it was coming. You knew.
I just,
Yeah,
I
just a little
haven't
background,
been up here in a while, so I missed it.
Well, we're happy to have you.
Thank you so
Do we have
much.
questions for Mr. Miranda, or should? Oh,
Yeah. Can you provide a little bit of background on it?
Sure thing. So this all has to do with the California Environmental Quality Act. And as you've seen before, we have a number of professional services consultants who help us across that professional service. What they do for us is go out there and start with what we call an initial study. So for every large-scale project effort, they start with what we call that basic study, and then that often drives us into one of 2 or 3 different paths, right? Is the project fully exempt from further CEQA work? Is the project approved as is with mitigations? Or is the project entailing a full-blown environmental impact report study, right? In this particular case with our Jordan project, which entails demolition of the gymnasium facility and reconstruction of a new gym, new aquatic center for the campus, the project kind of fit that category 2 bucket, where with mitigations, the project would be approved and basically qualify for approval based on CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act. Those mitigation measures are mostly centered on cultural resource monitoring, right? Older campus, haven't dug up the ground out there in some time. Often when we start on our earthwork activities, demolition and grading and so on and so forth, we partner with cultural resource monitors who are experts in that field. So as we uncover potential artifacts or things of that sort, it's just for the careful handling of those things.
I did think that was an interesting part of the report. Okay, so we need a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a quick question. My reading of the environmental documents showed that something had not been provided at the time that the report was written. Has that information been now provided?
Yes. So there's a number of requirements in terms of posting requirements and submittals to the state clearinghouse and so on and so forth, posting on our website. All of those things were done. This particular project effort is also more of an amendment in that we had a CEQA study done for all of the Jordan improvements way back when in 2014. This particular scope of the project did change though, right? At some point we were looking at modernizing that gym facility, right. And then we just determined that the cost benefit analysis were just better served with a new facility. Okay. But to answer your question, Mr. Otto, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? And how about a preferential vote from our new student board member?
Aye.
Thank you. Then that passes 5-0 with a preferential vote. Okay, we are at, report of board members. So we will start with our student board member, Alana Arroyo.
Good evening. I'm Alana. So I would like to use my report time to just introduce myself a little bit more. I'm currently a senior at Sato Academy of Math and Science, and I'm in the engineering pathway. I love my school. I'm very passionate about it, and I love to be very involved in it. I'm a part of the student council as well as the ambassadors, and also one of my favorite things is the Sato drone soccer program that we have. And so I've been a part of it since the beginning, and that's something, one of my favorite things of my school. As I said, I love being very involved, and just, I thought being the student board member, it was an incredible opportunity to do that, and on such a bigger scale than I've ever done it before. And I've also always been interested in how these decisions are made for the students and for the district, and how that student perspective and view is taken into consideration, and how it affects those decisions. And so I thought this was just an amazing way to do that, and to be an incredible learning opportunity as well. So, yes.
Thank you, Alana. Mr. Miller?
I say this every time. I'll be brief, but that's probably not as true. First thing I wanted to highlight was, since our last board meeting, there was a backpack giveaway that occurred at Long Beach City College, hosted by Councilmember Al Austin. And so I just wanted to really give him his flowers for his support of our students. Obviously, he's a city representative, but yet he has been very cognizant of the impact of education and supporting our youth. He has hosted this backpack giveaway for 13 years now. And over that 13 years, we estimate that he has supported over 25,000 Long Beach Unified School District families. And so every year, I'm just very, very appreciative and impressed with not just how much the community shows up, but all of the families and all of the joy that they get to have during that one day. And this event was just as big as the past 12 years. And so I just wanted to thank him for his support over the years, as once again, I'm very, very appreciative of all the work that he does to support us as a district. Next was the first day of school. Oh goodness! I every year am more and more impressed with the show and all. And maybe this is a little bit of jealousy here. I'm just going to be honest with you. I can remember my first day of school just being about me looking cool and getting to see my friends that I haven't seen in 3 months. But now with social media, kids are still connected with their friends, and now it's about the school looking cool. And so I went to 2 different back-to-school events where they just really made the return to school celebratory, right? From the balloons to the PTOs in the parking lot to the PTAs and to the great snacks to the giveaways. Once again, I was just really, really impressed with the back-to-school events that I was able to attend, both at Alvarado and at Stevenson. So I just wanted to give a big shout-out to both Principal Huber and Mr. C, as they showed up and showed out, man. And so I was very, very impressed with the back-to-school entries. And so that's it for my report.
Actually, I think that was brief. Dr. Benitez.
Yes, I'll build on Mr. Miller's new school year. So thank you for everyone that played an instrumental role in us being able to start a school new year. But I want to give a special thanks to students who showed up. All right, without students, and we're just playing games up here. And I want to encourage students and their caregivers, families, parents, to let us know how we can do better and be better. Our attendance rates are not where we would like them to be. So make sure to communicate with your teachers, with your staff members, with your counselors, with your principals, with whoever you feel comfortable sharing what could make your experience more engaging, sharing what can make you feel safer, sharing what can make you feel heard and seen. Because we keep saying we want to do everything we can to support student success, but it also starts with us listening and acting on what we hear from our students. So thank you, students, for showing up. We know that the first week is not always perfect. We know that there's some schedule changes that need to happen. We know that not all systems are 100%. So I would just ask our students and educators and community members, caregivers to please share some grace in these first few weeks as we start off a year to try and make this an edifying, safe, healthy, and amazing year of learning for all. I'm going to sort of switch gears a little bit here. I'm going to give a little wink to Dr. Brown. So right before the official start of the school year, I attended a Safe Routes Ambassadors kickoff event at First Church in downtown Long Beach that was put on by a few community organizations that are doing Safe Routes Ambassador programs at Lincoln, Franklin, and Whittier. And we had a lot of parents and community members show up wanting to play a role. How do I become an ambassador to keep our students and families safe, not just at drop-off and pickup, but throughout the school day? So amazing a turnout. It was a sort of an orientation, initial training, but more sort of how do we get this year started, right? So thank you for everyone that showed up across our district, but in particular at those 3 schools to make sure that folks feel welcomed, students felt safe, and that we did some community building. And I want to also say this. We had a city council meeting last night. I want to encourage our executive team to continue to reach out to our city partner, because it takes more than just a school district to ensure the safety of children every day, before school, during the school day, and after school. So I want to encourage our city officials, our city partners, to stay in communication with us, to reach out to us. We need your support too. We need your investments and resources too. This is a holistic approach to violence prevention, school safety, and our Safe Routes to Schools programs are dependent on our systems and institutions to work collaboratively with each other, but it's really based on our community members also being able to play a vital role in this process. So congratulations to those organizations that are doing wonderful work in alliance with our schools. I also attended some back-to-school events. One in particular at Craftsman Village Park, again led by community organizations. I think it was AOC 7 in collaboration with many organizations in that part of town. And so hundreds of backpacks, new school supplies, new shoes were passed out to hundreds of students and families at that event. That was the Saturday before our school year started.
I was wondering why your shoes were so shiny today.
One of the highlights there, I want to give special props to barbershop called The Boulevard. Free haircuts. It was awesome to see our students having the opportunity to show up fresh and clean on that first day back to school. And that was the longest line, to be honest with you, at the back to school event. So big shout out to the Boulevard. They said, please let LBUSD, your colleagues, know we are here. We're in the community. We want to be supportive. We want to be involved. And so they're in your district, Mr. Miller. I brought a card. I'll pass that information along.
I'm losing my hair by the day. I don't need that barbershop.
And in all honesty, they were, you know, it was just a brainstorm. They were saying, hey, could we do something around students' attendance, and then they can come in and get free haircuts? Could we do something around grades, right, to help promote and support what we're doing as an educational institution? So I didn't want to not highlight that, because it was cool to see. They literally had 5 barbers out there in the park in tents, David said already, Mr. Zaid's like, yeah. Let's see here, back to school. I know I'm missing something here. Miss Craighead, beginning. I saw you, Leticia. So I will be visiting all the schools in my area. I'm coordinating with our wonderful board secretary here, Leticia, with the school principals in the schools in my area. I'd like to just check in with the school communities in my area. I'll be there mornings. I'll bring some pan dulce, coffee, tea. So it's at every elementary school, middle school, and high school in my area. My colleagues are welcome to hang out, but no more than one of you. Otherwise, we'll have more than three there. But it's just a chance for me to check in. I wish everyone a happy and great start to the school year. But also, if there's anything that you want to share from the school. And so again, this is an announcement for educators at those schools. I'll show up before school, so if you want to stop by on your way to your classroom or your office, I'm happy to check in with you. And then as our parents and caregivers are dropping off their kids, if they want to stop by, say hi. Otherwise, I'm going to have a lot of pan dulce and coffee left over. So just we've asked the principals to share that through their own schools' communication networks. Just be on the lookout for dates and times, and then hopefully we can send something out from my end just to remind folks on what days and what times I'll be at the respective schools. And that's my report for tonight.
Thank you, and thank you for that invitation. Mr. Otto?
Yeah, I too am going to try and be brief for the beginning of this school year. The beginning of school is always such an important time. It's the beginning, again, of what it is that we do, and it's like a new beginning every time. Safety of our students was mentioned, and I want to highlight one of the things that our district is doing to make schools safer, and that is our work with Central Cha on the Safe Passages program, not just on the west side, but in other parts that they're working on as well. And Diana and I have been involved with that group for the better part of a year now, going to a meeting a month and seeing what their plans are and what they're doing. The district helped fund them, and it's really, I think, helped those students in those areas to feel safer, to feel more involved in their school systems, and that's been a real special thing that we've taken on to ensure student safety. I was at opening day at Stevens along with many senior staff members, and it was a horse race between whether the students were really excited or scared to death to see all these senior adults there as they were walking between us, and we had pom-poms and we were yelling, "Welcome back," and I wondered whether this was a good idea, but I think it was in the end. At least I'm telling myself that. Personally, in response to what Dr. Benitez has been saying, what I'm doing strategically this year is not only do I know the names of all my principals in all my schools, but I've gotten the names and contact information of the heads of all the PTAs for schools that have PTAs, and have made a commitment to reach out to those leaders because I think that it's important to know them and the work that they do. If I can get a witness from Ms. Craighead, who knows a little bit about that. And I think it's a good way to communicate with schools, and so I'm doing that. And the last thing that I would like to say is this, of course, is the beginning of sports season. It's a new time for sports in Long Beach. I mean, football season's starting, lots of things are going on. But it just reminded me of how important sports are to the Long Beach Unified School District. Not only do we have more National Football League players coming from Long Beach than any other school in the United States, And not only do we have many, many athletes that have gone on to historic and amazing careers in lots of other sports, but it's part of our identity, and I think it's so important that we recognize that we support it, that we take the steps that are necessary to make sure that our kids can have that experience. And I know we're very sensitive to that, and I just want to add my voice to how important it is to keep those programs going. And other than that, I wish everybody a great beginning of the school year. And I don't know who bet that the meeting was going to end by 6 o'clock, but I think you ought to look at people that made it longer. Anyway, that's my report.
Thank you. And I would add, because you did mention sports, I would add that Wilson has had a former student in the Olympics in the last many, many years. So every Summer Olympics, there has been somebody from Wilson competing. And that's just in addition to our football and baseball prowess.
Yeah, well, let me add one footnote to that, and that is on Saturday night, we had over for dinner Bruce Bradley, who was a Millikan water polo player and the captain of the 68 and 72 Olympic water polo teams. Still lives in Long Beach, successful real estate investor, but lots and lots of astonishing athletes in lots of different sports come from Long Beach schools.
Yeah, that's a wonderful history that we have. Ms. Lopez.
I'll be brief. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the Poly cross-country coaches who organized the Bun Run, and also the volunteers who helped with it. They brought the community together. We had student, parent, community runners, and it was a great, great event. And I look forward to that event again next year. I also, besides attending the Bun Run, I had the opportunity to visit Powell Academy, and I really enjoyed visiting the classrooms, speaking with teachers individually. The staff there was just amazing. They were getting ready for the first day of school, and just like in every other school, they gave me a very warm welcome, and I really, really appreciate it. Them taking time to speak with me. Like some of the board members here, Mr. Miller and Mr. Otto, I too was at Stevens Middle School on the first day of school. And I also want to send kudos to those who organized such a beautiful welcome for the students. Those pom-poms, the media, the presence of the senior team, I think embarrassed the students. We couldn't get a smile from them. And even though they seemed to be embarrassed, I know they had to appreciate all of your hard work. So thank you. And then just finally, I just like to wish our students, our educators, and our administrators a successful school year. Good luck this school year. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I will start with an event that I attended for the Long Beach Symphony, and so I want to express my gratitude to Long Beach Symphony President Kelly Ruggiero for supporting our youth concerts. And now, thanks to a $210,000 gift from philanthropist Linda L. Gunn, the youth concerts for our 4th and 5th graders will be funded through the 2027 school year, or 2027 season. And this generous support, made possible by the Linda L. Gunn Music Education Fund, ensures the continuation of this beloved tradition, one that has been bringing music to our students and bringing our students to the symphony for over 4 decades. And I have a little gift for my fellow board members. It's a pen from the symphony, and
Is this gift worth over $50? If so, I do not want it.
Probably not more than $49.99.
I think that's a legal question.
I've never seen a pen like this. There's a calendar for the Long Beach Pops and for the symphony. And so
Much
you
more than
each
50.
have, I know it's no pan dulce, but still a very exciting present. And then also, I want to wish everybody a happy new school year. You know, for us, this is our new year. This is the time of year when it's fresh and new. I want to thank all the teachers for preparing their classrooms, all the classified staff that help make sure our campuses are bright and shiny and wonderful for our students and for staff. I know so many staff members attended professional development events and opportunities during the summer so that everybody could be prepared on day one and that everybody is ready to welcome our students. And I did not attend the big lavish event at Stevens, but I did attend the first day at Cleveland because we have a brand new principal, and so I was there to support her. So congratulations again, Nicole. And it was a wonderful event, also complete with balloons and a big sign out front and lots of people. We had 2 members of the Lakewood City Council, Council Member Jeff Wood, Council Member David Ariano, and we didn't scare children. We gave stickers, which, yeah, and it was a wonderful family event, not just the families that are there dropping off their own students, but the new Cleveland principal was supported by both her mother and father, and her mother is a former principal in our district. And it was truly a family affair, very warm and welcoming, and I want to thank her for including me in that celebration. I did feel like I missed out on the big event at Stevens, but both schools started at the same time, so I wasn't able to do both. And so now we are at our superintendent's report.
Well, I'll just build on my gratitude for the start of the school year with a couple of things that haven't been shared yet. First of all, just so happy to have our 63,000 students back in their school buildings. Before the first day of school, it was mentioned that there was professional learning. We actually held the first of 2 days of professional learning that's built into our calendar this year. So really excited to just be out and about experiencing what teachers and administrators were experiencing in their schools. The second day of those 2 days is November 1st, the day after Halloween. But really good feedback coming from our staff around their experience. In addition to that, classified staff had multiple opportunities that it's different than any other year. They were out in community buildings and other places to have job-specific professional learning experiences, and so it was great to see our classified staff also have the opportunity. And then lastly, as we launch into the second year of our strategic plan, all departments, all offices, and all schools are having a shared experience this year in experiencing what our strategic plan, Creating a Better Future Together, is all about, what the adult portrait is, how the adult portrait connects to every job that is done in our school district, and what it means to be an adult in service to the graduate portrait. And so we tried out some new things this year that we're collecting feedback on, and so far getting a very good response about what our employees have experienced. It takes all of us in our school district to open a school year and also to achieve the outcomes that we want for our students. I'm especially appreciative of the safety that has happened in the streets around students coming and going to school on scooters and bikes and walking, and really our community's effort to keep students safe in that way. The launch of the Long Beach Unified brand happened as we kicked off this school year. So if you visit the Long Beach Unified website, you'll notice different colors and different aspects of our branding that we are proud to have out in the community at this time. There's a story behind the brand, so I know that our communications team is going to be unveiling some of that as the year goes along. And kudos to our communications team, what it takes also to ensure that families have the information that they need to feel like they are informed, support for schools as they open school, to hold events from our management team gathering to a wonderful first day of school celebration. It takes an incredible award-winning communications team to be working together and helping all of us celebrate what we want to celebrate. Someone asked for grace from the community. We have several hot days on the way. We have sent out a communication, and our schools are communicating locally with their school communities. We are doing all that we can. We have chilled water in schools that do not have HVAC, fans, window tinting, and are really doing everything that we can to address these next few hot days. Buildings are opened up early. Plant supervisors have a schedule that they use that is specific to heat days. And so we just ask for our community's support in doing what they can to ensure that, that students and staff are safe as we go about these hot days. And so, yes, Happy New Year to our entire system of employees, our 10,000 plus employees, our 63,000 students. It takes all of us, and I look forward to what we're going to achieve together this year.
Thank you. Well, that concludes the business. That concludes the business of the board this evening, and before we adjourn, I believe Mr. Miller has somebody that he would like to acknowledge.
Yes, so I'm asking today if we can adjourn today's meeting in honor of Brandon Greathouse. He is a Long Beach Unified School District employee that was working with our Sankofa Parent Village team and our Black Student Achievement. But more importantly, and his biggest job was being a father and being a husband. I've known Brandon since I was in the 9th grade, so I don't want to do the years, but you can probably guess by the gray hairs on my face we've known each other for a long time. And so he's always been a really, really good friend to me. I saw him most recently here at one of the board workshops maybe about a month and a half ago, and he's really going to be missed. And so I just ask if we can acknowledge not only him and his impact on the students that he served here at the Long Beach Unified School District, but the legacy he's going to be leaving for his family.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. So I'll ask that we adjourn in his memory. Thank you. Thank you for being here, everyone. Good evening.